name's Dale.
So what brought you here today?
Just decided to do a volunteer activity with my teammates. And yeah, seemed like a good opportunity.
So what are you guys' name?
I'm Tom.
I'm Rowan.
So what are you guys doing here today?
We're helping to make this area look better, and in the process also planting some native plants.
So did you guys voluntarily came here, or were you guys forced to?
No, we volunteer. Google gives everybody in the company, if they want, 20 hours a year to volunteer for whatever cause they want, and we work a lot with Hands On Bay Area, who organized this today. So yeah, it's an opportunity for us to get outside and away from the computer.
So what are you guys' goal here today?
I'd say the goal is just to clean up some of this, some of the weeds, clean up some of the trash, and put some new soil down.
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
It's been nice so far. The weather hasn't been great, but it keeps us cool at least.
So what do you guys do specifically at Google?
So everyone here is in a department called Product Quality Operations, and the purpose of the department is basically to ensure that the content that Google users are exposed to is high quality and not malicious in any way, and that it spans all of Google's different products like search and advertising and maps and pretty much everything. So we're sort of out there trying to make sure it's a good experience for users.
Best thing about your job?
I like the free food.
Probably the people.
Oh, the people are good too.
Free food is also great.
So before you guys worked at Google, what did you guys do?
I came to Google straight out of college.
And I worked for a defense research company in Washington, D.C.
Do you guys like to work alone or as a team?
Definitely as a team for me. I'm in sort of an open office area where I talk to the people around me the whole day, and that helps keep the work interesting for me, so I don't get too, monotonous.
I think it varies. I think both for me. It's nice to have people around and there's a lot of collaboration, but I develop tools, so I'm a computer programmer, and definitely for that there are times where I just want to have hours to myself to focus on solving a problem.
You're right. Well, I appreciate you guys' time, and I wish you guys luck.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
What is your name?
Brett Klein.
What are you here today?
Here to just help out the little activity we got going on, just trying to make the campus a little nicer for y'all. Just pulling some weeds, planting some plants, just trying to make it a little better.
Was it volunteer or is your boss made you do it?
Ha! No, I volunteered for it. Kidding me? Friday afternoon, get away from the computer, come down, just hang out with some friends. Much better than just sitting on the computer.
So tell me about your job. What is it that you do?
So I work on the ad side of the kind of fraud prevention you've heard from a bunch of the other people. So when you type in a query on Google, you often see ads on the top and on the sides, and because it's an advertising product and it's the main way that we make money, we have a lot of regulation on what we can serve and what we can't. Because obviously, like, there's certain things you're not allowed to sell, like weapons, for example, right? You can't just be selling guns online with zero regulations. So things of that nature, either just legal things or things that just Google doesn't want people to purchase off our platform.
So what's like the biggest challenge you have ever came upon?
The biggest challenge, I think one of the challenges people face when they get to Google is just being surrounded by like other people who are also just like super motivated. And I think the thing that's often hard is trying to learn new skill sets that other people may have coming in that you need to learn, like things like computer skills that I might not have had, like coding. A lot of people that start at Google have experience working and building code, and I never had done that before. So there was almost like a baseline knowledge that I didn't have coming in.
So what made you get into Google?
So I actually worked previously. You guys ever heard of DirecTV, like satellite television? So I used to work there, kind of catching like criminals doing fraud against DirecTV. So that's very similar work to what we do here at Google. So that was kind of one of the reasons I'm really interested in the type of business that we do.
Is it true that when you work at Google the first day, you wear those propel hats?
Yeah,
I
should have brought one, shouldn't I have?
How does that feel? How did you feel when you first wore it?
Man, it felt good. Like you really feel like you're a part of something, right? Like, and it's crazy how many people there are. You're like, oh, I'll probably be like one of 10, 15 people, and like you're with hundreds of other people that it's their first day. And when I started, there was actually even a ton of other people in my organization. So some of like the friends that I have that I work with now are the people that started the same day that I started, and like we kind of came in together and are kind of all still friends today.
So it's a friendly environment.
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of people have friends that they hang out with outside of work too. Of course, you know, we have our friends that don't work at Google as well, but I think people do form like long-lasting bonds like while they're there. Because she was saying like we hire similar people that are trying to strive for better things and that are intelligent and fun to hang out with. So, yeah.
So you want to switch your job at Google for anything else?
No, I mean, I think that what a lot of people do is once they lose interest in the area at Google, they often try to go to other places within Google because, you know, Google. Once you're into Google, like it's such a good spot that it's a good opportunity to learn other things too. So, if I ever do want to potentially look into another area of work, I'd probably want to stay within Google and do it here.
So thank you for your time.
Cool.
Wish you luck finishing this project.
Hey, thanks. You guys enjoy your weekend.
So what is your name?
My name is Adina.
What are you here today?
Why am I here? I just wanted the opportunity to help out, get outside, do some good for the community.
Did your boss made you come here?
Yeah, I thought about that.
No, he was very encouraging, but we were definitely not forced to come here. A lot of my team is still back, you know, doing work at their computers, but I'm here.
So what are you guys doing here today exactly?
So we're here to beautify the campus. We're working on gardening projects like, you know, pulling out the weeds, laying some fresh fertilizer, planting some new plants over there. And I think a group of us is inside talking about Google and all the different things that we do.
So are you having fun so far?
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
So
It's not raining too, so that's good.
So tell me about your job.
So I work on a team called Search Quality, which basically fights spam in search results. So we try to make sure that you actually get the results that you want when you search, and not something to try to sell you, you know, fake shoes, like fake Louis Vuitton purses, things like that.
So about Google, is everybody there friendly? Do you get along with everybody, or do you have enemies at Google?
At Google? No, you don't have any enemies.
Got one right here.
Yeah, apparently. So, yeah, they take a really long time to find people to work with that you're gonna get along with. The interview process was about 3 months long. Sometimes it's longer for people, so they do a really good job in making sure that you're gonna have a good time and work well with people.
Well, I appreciate you for your time.
Sure.
I wish you luck finishing this project.
Thank you for having us.
We're here today to interview you guys about what you guys do. I'm just curious, what do you guys do? Why are you guys here today? What made you guys want to come here today?
Yeah, so Google supports, like, they give us opportunity to come and do whatever sorts of volunteer work we want to do. And personally, I'm here because a lot of people from my team are here, so it's a good way to get outside and do something. And also, I live in San Jose, so I thought it'd be nice to. I don't have kids, but it's nice to support the local schools and, you know, see what high school's like nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's a nice opportunity to do some outdoor volunteering and meet some people from the community and stuff.
What interests you about your guys' job?
It changes a lot. Like, we have to handle spam and abuse mainly, and so it's kind of like the criminals of the internet. And they always have, so say we learn how to build one type of wall to block them, they'll just, you know, find a way to build a tunnel through underneath the wall. And so then we have to figure out how to deal with it that way. So it's always, there's a lot of products, there's a lot of internet abuse and crime. So I think it's interesting because you get to be on the internet all day and like see what's going on and not do the same exact thing every day.
What challenges have you guys confronted working for Google?
I think sort of what she talked about, just in the sense of like it doesn't, and it's similar to like being in school, right? Like you're not doing the same thing every day. Like in school, you like advance to a different grade, and you kind of move up, and there's new challenges there. And I think that's something that's been the case with our jobs. Is like, as she was describing, like we work on everyone here works on preventing abuse and fraud on the internet. And so it's like we'll say, okay, we're not going to allow fraudsters to do this. Then they figure out a loophole way around it. So kind of like constantly evolving, I think is a challenge, but like in a good way. Like at school, like if you did the same thing every year, like if you did sophomore year like over and over again, like that would get really boring. You wouldn't want to do that. So you like advancing to different grades. That's sort of how our job is.
What's the best part about your guys' job?
The coworkers.
The people.
Getting to take off the afternoon to help.
No, I think definitely like the people you work with.
Yeah,
is
a lot of
a
smart
huge,
people.
A huge perk. No one's lazy. You know, everyone is really smart and is willing to help out. So it's like you're always doing projects with people who aren't slacking.
Well, thank you guys for your time.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for having
Thanks,
us.
guys.
So what are some interesting things about you and about your job?
Interesting things about me.
That relate to your job.
Oh, that relate to my job. I don't know that there's that much, honestly. I've never volunteered for Google before this. That's the only thing I know.
What made you want to volunteer this time?
I like doing yard work. Yeah, and it's like a passion. Removing, especially the removal part. I don't really care about the planting, but getting rid of the stuff that everyone hates, it's the best. Yeah, juniper in particular. That's what we're dealing with today.
And what do you do in your job currently right now at Google?
I try to make sure that people who sell Google's ad products to advertisers on behalf of Google don't commit fraud and do bad things to the advertisers.
Can you give us an example of like what they could do?
Sure. So so often we're talking about like ad agencies, people who resell Google's ad products. And so one thing I might do is call you, say you own a business. I might call you and say, hey, this is Rob from Google calling. I want you to pay me $500 and I'll get you a bunch of like clicks on Google search results. But the truth is I'm not Google, but you have no way to know that. So we want to make sure people aren't doing stuff like that.
What are some challenges that you've confronted while working at Google?
Good question. Challenges?
Working in my shadows.
Yeah, it's this guy giving me a hard time all the time. I work pretty hard and he's talking trash. This guy also is a challenge for me every day. This guy too. You're looking at him. I don't even need to answer that question.
He doesn't
you can
want
see
to
for yourself.
What's the best thing about your job?
It's going to sound strange coming after my last answer. People that I work with. Yeah, they're the best. They're really smart and it's really fun working with them.
What did you do before you started working for Google?
After I finished college, I worked at a startup. Did you guys use Twitter at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked at a small company down in LA that made third-party Twitter applications. So you might use like Twitter for iPhone or Twitter for Android or Twitter for, they have a bunch of different apps, so you might use it on your web browser. But our company made different apps that had sort of different features, but built on top of the Twitter platform.
What interests you about your job?
What interests me about my job? There are a lot of challenges that are pretty interesting. So in the example I gave before where someone's calling and presenting themselves as Google when they're not actually Google, it's pretty hard to stop that from happening. Because if I called you and said I was Google and then you found that I wasn't Google, all you know about me is the phone number I called you from. And there are a lot of ways of pretending your phone number is different from what it is. And so it's like basically this cat and mouse thing where I'm trying to figure out, okay, if this is the number you called from, who are you really, and how do we stop you? So there are a lot of interesting challenges, and it's enjoyable to think through them.
What made you become a Google employee?
Well, it's a really good place to work. I definitely wanted to. I was down in LA, like I said, and I wanted to move up here, which is where I'm from. And there were some interesting roles available.
Was Google your first choice?
Yeah, it was the only place I was looking, so I would have stayed at my last company if I didn't get a job offer from Google.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.